What if you found yourself struggling and not moving towards what you felt God had called you to do? What if you felt you were not equipped for what He was calling you to do? Many of us can relate to this. On today's show, we will hear how my guest eventually found God's purpose for his life, here on Faith on Film. Hello and welcome to Faith on Film. On today's show, my guest is Den Bleyker. I hope I'm saying this right. Den Bleyker, who is the co-founder and director of the Hollywood Divine International Film Festival, whose mission, with God's provision, is to lift up and encourage other filmmakers and industry professionals as they express their creativity using the influence of film and media to bring the love of God to a new and emerging audience. Welcome to Faith on Film, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, Isaac. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you bet. Now, you're located in Pennsylvania, I believe, right?
That's correct. Yes, we are in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, which is right outside Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which is actually the capital. That a lot of people don't know that, actually. I think they might think it's Philadelphia or some other city, but we're right here.
I do love the eastern part of our country. I actually lived in New York for like 7 years and absolutely loved it. Now, you are not a producer. Most of the people I've had on here, have been either producers or directors, filmmakers. But you did get interested in faith films at some point and launched a film festival. I haven't known you for that long, actually, so it'd be great for me to learn more about who you are and how you got involved in faith films. So just tell us all what was your journey into faith filmmaking?
Yeah, so I launched a film festival last October. Mm-hmm. That's when I actually got introduced to you. We're going into our second year here, coming up in October. But I actually come from a secular background. I was a secular actor, secular filmmaker. A little bit for a while. I did a lot of theater in and out of Manhattan, actually, when I was younger. And then I had God's call on my life. He reached out and really literally grabbed me. Actually grabbed me in a theater. I got saved in David Wilkerson's church in Times Square.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Which is actually in an old theater. So it's a very, very ironic. God can be very ironic sometimes, I feel like. So that was about 11 or 12 years ago. So, my background in secular film and acting and things like that, my journey was to kind of ascend to that level of that quality of that, the artistry of film and theater, and moving into Christian film and theater that way. I just kind of saw a need. I kind of felt like it was getting better, but there's always a need to get better and better and better as we tell our stories as Christians. So my journey into that was doing some things that were more Christian based after I was saved, getting more involved in churches and things like that, and arts ministries and that. But the film festival is something I always kind of wanted to do even before I was a Christian. And I think God just kind of opened it up within the last few years to kind of give me just the resources to kind of put it all together.
Now, I attend a lot of film festivals, and I got to tell you, they are a lot of work.
Yeah.
Now, you named yours Hollywood Divine. Why did you name it Hollywood? Why did you put the name Hollywood in it and then attach it to the word divine? That's
right.
What was that about?
Yeah, so Hollywood Divine, the name is inspired from basically Hollywood and Vine, and it's a crossing of two streets in Hollywood. So,
I see that. Okay, I see that now behind you is the background. Yes.
Yep. It's a kind of a play on the streets, on the names. But Hollywood Divine is really where Hollywood meets divine, and where we as Christian filmmakers can really kind of just meet up with Hollywood and kind of expose it to what to God's love and open it up to the light of what God is doing, to kind of offset with some of the some of the stuff that they're putting out there. It's not the greatest content, not the greatest world views, not the greatest messages at times. And I kind of just saw a need and an opportunity to kind of just step into that and kind of help and encourage and bless the filmmakers in the industry, the faith-based industry, to kind of shine a light on some of the darkness that's out there.
And you know what? That technically that is what this show's all about. Actually, it's about bringing out and exposing these faith-based filmmakers because for the most part, people don't even know anything about them. The only ones that get I'm going to say the big exposure, the big promotion are only the 2, 3, or 4 big movies that make it to theaters and with the big names. But there's another 95 or 100 movies that are being made that are faith-based that nobody ever really hears about. And so that's what this program is all about. And I guess technically, in a sense, that would be what your film festival is all about.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think that the main mission of the festival, for me anyway, like I said, is really to bless filmmakers, give them an opportunity to show new works and what they have to new audiences, and to kind of get a feel for what it's like to have their film shown in front of an audience, to interact with people that are watching their films, to kind of meet other people in the industry. And like for me, community is a huge part of the gospel. I think it's like a key part of the gospel. So the film festival is really an opportunity to come in community with like-minded people, with people in the industry, to really kind of edify each other and just support each other in the way that God would want us to.
Sure. Well, we're going to take a break here right now, and then when we come back, I want to talk about maybe the films that you've seen come into your festival. And let's talk about whether you see a change in the films, not only in their quality, but perhaps even in their genre. Because, for years, Christian movies have kind of been very similar in that they're very clean, very, I don't even know what words to use here, but, they're almost sometimes a little unrealistic. And and I want to see if you're seeing a change in that a little bit. So we'll talk about that when we come back for the next segment. All right. So folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Cell reproduction, more than duplication. It's careful selection and organization, ensuring the perfect balance for development and growth. Powerful. So is our programming. Parables, the leader in empowering entertainment. Parables. Be empowered. Start your free trial today.
Sight and Sound Theaters invites you to experience one of the most powerful Bible stories ever told.
Samson, you're going to deliver our people from the Philistines.
God gave him the strength to fight thousands.
Where does he get his strength from? Nobody's that strong.
But his greatest challenge will be living with his own choices.
Who are you?
Delilah.
We want you to find out the secret of his strength.
We will destroy Samson.
Playing in Branson for one last encore season. Get ready for a mighty adventure for the whole family.
You are my rock and my strength. Be with me today.
Samson, live on stage at Sight and Sound Theaters in Branson, Missouri.
I wonder how long a dolphin lives. I wonder if they can make cookies in space. I wonder when people started brushing their teeth. I wonder if people and dinosaurs ever lived together.
Want to find out?
I wonder how much a cloud weighs.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. We're sitting here with Mark Den Bleyker. Mark, so you've got this film festival, and so you've got all these films coming in. What have you seen sort of change between the films that are coming in now to maybe what you had seen in years past as far as Christian movies?
Yeah, I think when I first got saved, about 11, 12 years ago, just kind of getting into the media of what was out there. There's a lot of good message stuff, but I felt like some of the production quality was sacrificed for the message, which I understand. I mean, it's hard to get budgets and it's hard to get people on board with things that you're trying to do, especially with a film. And then a lot more has opened up over the last few years as far as, Kickstarter. I mean, look at Dallas with Kickstarter and and all that kind of stuff. So I think that over the last decade, it's really kind of starting to come into its own. I think that there's an absolute audience for it, and especially with all the technology, parables.com, things, Uplift, like things like that. I think that there's great platforms now for these films and for Christian media. I kind of relate it to almost like Christian music, right? I feel like Christian music is kind of like, in the 80s and stuff, was kind of like, pulling off of what secular music was doing and kind of using that kind of, platform. And then they really have come into their own over the last, 15, 20 years. I think film is in that same trajectory. I think that it's moving in that way where I think that production quality is getting better. I think people are getting much better at their craft. They're really kind of like, they are becoming actual filmmakers as opposed to people that are just trying to put, Christian stories, in video or film. Right. And I think that's great. I mean, I've seen some really good stuff come through last year, and then just kind of the things that are coming through this year as far as the quality, the story, the production, everything, the acting especially. Yeah. I think that Christian actors are really starting to step it up. They're really they're good. There's some really good stuff. I mean, last year our film that won was Summer of '67 by Sharon Wilhelm. It's great. It's not an overt Christian message. It's about a faith journey essentially. It's about life and death and war and just how do you navigate through that. And it's a beautiful story. And I think that those are the types of films that are starting to come up that are on the lower budget end. But the quality in the story is just off the charts. Right. So I think that these are the types of people that I really want to support, and the people that are just starting out. If you just have a camera and you're just shooting a film, that's great. Like submit it to a festival, like try to get it in front of an audience so that you can see what the reaction is and kind of learn from that. I think that filmmaking is it's a journey. It's a walk like your Christian faith. You got to keep walking, keep falling down. Keep going through trials and get better and better and better. And I think that it's really come along, and I'm excited to see what the future has for Christian media.
Sure. Well, I mean, I feel, first of all, I feel that Christian is not a genre. So it's not like Christian film is just one monolithic type of movie. Genres would be drama, comedy, suspense, thriller, you name it. And I think that in the past, movies have always stuck to Christian, like feeling just, making it just one style of movie. And I believe there's movies for those that are already saved, which is fine. We need those movies as well. Movies that just make you as a Christian feel like you're on the right team, feel good. And then there's movies for those that are not Christian. And I think those sometimes have to be a little bit edgier, a little bit more realistic, if you will, and sometimes the Christian audience kind of doesn't like those kind of movies, but they have to realize that there's an audience for those kind of movies. Are you seeing more of these edgier, almost thriller, suspenseful type movies?
Yeah, there are some out there, and I think that's actually that appeals. That's my I'm bread and butter. I like that type of movie more, actually, because coming from my background, my background is secular, secular coming to Christian, so I have a really good understanding of what, the secular world does with Christian media, I blew it off for years, I didn't want to see anything. I thought it was all, just too overt and too in my face, that kind of thing. So I think that there's an absolute, place for these types of movies, and I think that we need to be open more to that because we have to reach the people where they're going to be able to hear, and I think that a movie theater and a TV screen is absolutely a great place to reach the secular world because there's millions of people, hundreds of millions of people sitting in front of it. So if we put stories out there that are real, honestly, real faith journeys, like if you looked at my faith journey, it'd probably be a rated X, at some point, right? But it's the reality of it, it's not X, but non-rated, I guess. It's true. I mean, it's
the
hard.
Stories in the Bible. There's several stories in the Bible that definitely would be rated X.
Absolutely. I know, and that's why, I never really understood why, the Christian audience per se almost they shy away from it. But but they're reading it every Sunday, at least hopefully, right? Or at least more than every Sunday. But
here's the part that frustrates me is, they don't like a Christian movie to be that real and to have some of those elements, but they'll go see it in a secular movie. So it's not that they don't want to see it; they just don't want to see it in a secular movie. That's hypocritical.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree with that. I think that doesn't really make any sense. Yeah. So hopefully we're moving in a direction where we can kind of start to open that up for people. And and I'm not about I don't think that there's room for reality, but I think that there's gratuitousness is something that I think Hollywood excels at. So I think that there's absolutely a way to show real life in ways that are not so jarring and jading, honestly, because that's what that does to you. It'll you see this stuff over and over again. It just jades you to a lot of the sins of the world, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now, how can people then reach you, whether they have a film they want to submit or just want to know more about the festival?
Sure, yeah, you can check out more about the festival at our website. It's hdfilmfest.com. You can check that out. We're on social media at HD Film Fest as well. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So yeah, any of those ways you can reach us and check out the festival. We're always looking for submissions. We're open till September 3rd for submissions, and come on out in October and check out what's going on in film.
Great. Well, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks, Isaac. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your show, and over the last year, it's been a pleasure to get to know you, and I look forward to keeping up the relationship here. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Sunflowers. To pollinate and reproduce, they turn and face the sun. Nature's way of reminding us that for ultimate growth, we must seek the light. Parables, the leader in empowering entertainment. Parables. Be empowered. Start your free trial today.
I wonder if penguins have knees. I wonder how many colors we can't see. I wonder why there's so many stars in the universe. I wonder if we ever looked like apes.
You want to find out?
I wonder if puppies have belly buttons.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. I'm so excited right now because I'm adding a new segment to our show, and it's called Holly on Hollywood. And of course, can't do Holly on Hollywood without Miss Hollywood herself, Holly McClure. Hi, Holly. How are you?
Isaac, it's always so good to be with you. We are old friends, and it's fun doing things like this with you. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Now, I need to introduce you because I want to make sure people know who you are, and what you've done here. So Holly McClure is a multimedia personality with over 20 years experience in the entertainment industry. Her extensive background as a film critic has made her a recognized name and advocate for family-friendly entertainment and the faith-based community. In 2002, Mel Gibson himself invited Holly to Rome, Italy to film interviews with the cast and crew of The Passion of the Christ. Gibson consulted Holly on the script, and she was involved with early stages of media strategy and marketing. And now, here she is with us.
And here I am with you. Yes. Thank you
Holly,
so much for having me.
Oh, you bet. Now, listen, this show is about faith, faith films and people involved in faith films. But let's not kid ourselves. A lot of Christians are going to see Hollywood movies, right?
That is so true. In fact, the percentage of Christians that go see Hollywood movies are just as much as the percentage of non-Christians who do the secular world. So there's not even a differentiation. Yes, we go see movies on a regular basis.
Well, the purpose of this segment is to find out what some of those movies are and find out what, from a faith-based perspective, are they good movies for us to go see as Christians?
And, okay, I'm going to give you my rundown of a few of these movies. Okay. Now, some of them I've seen and a couple I haven't, so I'll just give you my best guess, and we can just kind of talk about what's coming up. But now, Spider-Man has been out, and it is popular. Of course, it stars Tom Holland, who is Spider-Man, and he was in Avengers Endgame. So there was a big audience that already saw him in Avengers Endgame and got excited about this film because they're continuing his trilogy, of course. So it's a big movie. It's, for those of you who've already seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it's still in theaters, so you can go see that movie and you'll be very in. And it's, of course, his adventures, not so much set in New York now. Now it's set in London and actually in Europe, and it's the aftermath of Avengers. So he's going after the Avengers Endgame. After that last movie ended, he's picking up where that left off. So they're very smart how they're doing this. Marvel is very smart about how they're marketing these films and continuing this. Another big movie coming up, Isaac, at the end of July, in fact, probably just a few more days or from now, is The Lion King. The Lion King is amazing.
I love The Lion King.
Okay, what I love about this movie, and a lot of people may not know, you remember did you see Avengers Endgame?
I'm sorry, I'm one of those.
Well, okay, that's okay if you did. I'm not trying to shame you there. For people who saw that, the character Happy, Jon Favreau. Now, Jon Favreau also was the one who wrote and created Elf, the movie Elf, which is so many of us love, okay? Now, he is directing The Lion King, and this is something very different that's never been done. Stars Beyonce, Danny Glover, James Earl Jones, Seth Rogen. It's a list of stars. This is the most anticipated movie. And you know what, Isaac's really funny? When I've talked to millennials and say, what was your favorite movie when you were a kid growing up? Lion King is the one. That gets the winner by far. Another Dora the Explorer is a kid's movie that's coming out. Now, Dora the Explorer I have not seen, but of course it's a family-friendly film. And this is the first time that they're going to have a live-action Dora, and she's going to be a teenager. So for all you little girls who grew up watching Dora the Explorer and love the adventures, it's going to be her as a teenager now, and that's kind of fun that they're doing. Also that's coming out is Playmobil the movie. When you were back in the 70s, Playmobil came out and it was first invented. Well, now they've taken what the little round figures, very smooth round action figures with the buses and all the little toys that kids used to have. Well, they've taken it to live action now. So it's, again, another first that they're going to have. So a family-friendly, kid-friendly movie that's going to come out in August. A lot of parents are glad about that. They're going to have something for the family to go see. Angry Birds is also going to come out. I'm not a big fan of Angry Birds, so, can't say about that. But it's going to be coming out in August as well. So we'll see. Again, I like the fact that they're at least trying to have some family-friendly movies before school starts and before that gets into it. And now we can talk about what's coming up in the fall if you want to, but, there's some big movies coming up and repeat movies, or another Rambo movie, another Star Wars movie, Downton Abbey is coming in, the TV series. That's really big. And Terminator. So we've got a lot to talk about. We can do it next time about the new shows that are coming out, and we're seeing over and over a continuation of them.
Well, this is going to be an ongoing segment. I don't know if we're going to be doing it, probably not every week, but at least every month I think we're going to have this segment. So you'll have a lot to tell us. And now, is there anything that we should worry about in these movies that you just mentioned? As a Christian?
I think parents should always be discerning, because parents, the PG movies, not so much, and we know the storyline. But when you get into PG-13, parents, don't take your 6-year-old to see PG-13 until you've checked out reviews, until you've checked out what's going on, because they're not family-friendly just because it has a PG in front of there. Right. They're usually not. So we have to be really careful and be discerning for yourselves.
So how can people go and read your critiques of these movies so they can know more about them?
Well, thanks for asking. Okay, I'm on every Friday. I have a movie featured for that week on thelaundrymoms.com. It's a blog that's on, and it's got a lot of different fun things for women, recipes, and for families, and great Christian website for a lot of ideas. But I have a family film review page there, and every week there's a new one. And you can also see old reviews. So if you're curious about a movie, you might want to go, let's see if Holly reviewed it. Thelaundrymoms.com is there. And you can also email me and ask me if you want to at McClure Productions, my last name McClure Productions at gmail.com, and I'll be sure and answer your questions.
Fantastic. Now let me hear you say that line that you say all the time.
I'm Holly McClure. Be sure and choose your movies wisely.
We'll be right back.
I'm Jonah, I'm from Fort Worth.
I'm Noah Long from Colorado.
Hi, I'm Rayma, I'm from Oklahoma.
From TFI, I expected to be in a classroom and to be on set. But what I got was so much more.
I expected a lot of classroom situations, but what I got was a lot more hands-on, and it was more tailored to your interest in the filmmaking world.
A lot of great teaching and information that I could apply to what I love and what I do.
I came to TFI for my mom. She is really passionate about learning film and directing, and so I came as a favor to her, and I'm really glad that I did.
Get over here to TFI.
The acclaimed Creation Museum and outreach of Answers in Genesis is a one-of-a-kind museum filled with animatronic characters, interactive videos, a spectacular planetarium, a special effects theater, and many other world-class exhibits. Since its opening in 2007, the Creation Museum has welcomed millions of guests at its 49-acre location in the greater Cincinnati area. The dramatic finale of the museum is the Last Adam film, where guests experience the glory of God's redemptive plan and hear a clear and powerful presentation of the gospel message. Since the museum's opening, we have heard countless testimonies from adults and young people whose lives have been changed through a museum visit. Now discover how it might change your own life for Christ. Plan your visit at creationmuseum.org and prepare to believe.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our new segment, especially Holly on Hollywood. Want to remind you also to check out parables.tv. That's parables.tv, where you'll be able to watch a lot of the faith-based movies that we talk about here on the program. And of course, write me so I can know that you're there and let me know what you think about the show. Write me at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Until next week, take care.